Hello and thanks for joining us on Nationwide. I am Dennis Adegunloye. President Bola Tinubu is expected to open the African Counterterrorism Summit in Abuja on Monday, April 22nd. Nigeria, with the support of the United Nations Office on Counterterrorism, is organizing a high-level African Counterterrorism Summit under the theme Strengthening Regional Cooperation and Institution Building to address the evolving threat of terrorism. A statement by the Presidential Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalale, indicates that the objective of the summit is to enhance multilateral counterterrorism cooperation and reshape the international community's collective response to terrorism in Africa, while emphasizing the importance of African-led and African-owned solutions. The summit is equally expected to provide a platform to review the nature and severity of the threat of terrorism on the continent, with a view to agreeing on concrete strategic priorities and measures to address the scourge. Heads of state and governments and high-level government officials across Africa, representatives of international organizations and multilateral institutions, members of the diplomatic corps, and members of civil society groups are expected to attend the summit. United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed is also scheduled to attend the event. Amid efforts aimed at bringing back global economy to pre-pandemic levels, Nigeria's northern governors are meeting the leadership of the United Nations and other development partners on the sidelines of the just concluded IMF and World Bank meetings in Washington, D.C. The northern governors, including those of Kaduna, Kebbi, Jigawa, Sokoto, Niger, Zamfara and Benue states, led by chairman of the Northwest Governors Forum and Governor of Katsina State, Diko Umaru Rada, are engaging governments and development partners for partnerships and support in the critical sectors of ICT, energy, food security, education, climate change and financing, among the other issues on the table.
The Millennium Goals for SDG, we need to address the issue of insecurity.
We are exposed to serious hunger. The reason because people are unable to go to farm.
Our fear is when we might just migrate into Zamfara.
Our people are ready to go back to farm.
We need support. We need research. We need a lot of collaboration with UN, and these things are ways we can come out or transition out of this crisis. Otherwise, there will be no future for our people.
But the idea is there and it's working very well.
That's why we believe we must come together, look at development partners, reach out to people that can be able to assist us in terms of networking, in terms of support, in terms of linking us with relevant agencies.
Aside the United Nations delegation led by the Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed, the governors also met with a delegation from the Economic Commission for Africa, the UNDP Regional Office for Africa, the Food and Agriculture Organization, and the President of the Africa Finance Corporation, all aimed at further supporting the stability and ultimate growth of the Nigerian economy. Officials of Niger and Kebbi states have agreed to set a timeline for relevant documents on the boundary between both states to be studied, so that the National Boundary Commission can use them to determine how best to resolve the dispute. This was part of the resolution at a meeting in Abuja. Kelvin Ewonaye reports.
The Kebbi-Niger interstate boundary spans a distance of about 640 kilometers. It has been relatively peaceful until recent complaints by the Kebbi state government over alleged encroachment by Kwankoso community of Bogu local government area of Niger State. This meeting of officials from both states was at the instance of the National Boundary Commission to resuscitate initial work on the boundary to prevent possible hostilities.
So it's not something that we go and grab by force. I think we are past the stage of anybody wanting to go and snatch any part of anybody's territory by force. It's quite key that we must ensure we sensitize people properly, let them appreciate what issues of boundaries are all about.
Delegations from Niger and Kebbi states are to go back and revive their state boundaries committees and jointly sensitize the affected communities ahead of the actual fieldwork by the National Boundary Commission. In Abuja, Kelvin Ebunwaye, NTA News.
Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborewori has visited Okwama community in Iwu Kingdom of Ugeli South Local Government Area of Delta State, assuring community members of their safe return after the crisis involving the killing of 17 officers and soldiers on March 14th. Tessie Coker reports.
It is Okwama community in Iwu Kingdom, Ugeli South Local Government Area of Delta State. It is exactly a month and 6 days after the 17 military personnel were murdered in this community. An agrarian community hitherto bubbling with life before the incident. The community has remained inaccessible until now. Governor Oborewori is here on a tour to see things for himself. The governor arrived in the company of Commander of the 63 Brigade, Brigadier General Onachukwu Ugochukwu, and top government functionaries.
The Okwama 17 is something that we did not expect to happen, but it wasn't our what we bargained for. Well, I've come here to see how the people, the innocent people, can be relocated back.
Governor Sheriff assured the people that his government is doing a lot to effectively resolve the dispute to enable the people of Okwama return home. Governor Oborewori applauded President Bola Tinubu for keeping his words that innocent citizens will not be victimized in the course of the investigation. It will be recalled that the incident made the people of the community flee their homes for fear of being attacked. In Okwama, Tessie Coker, NTA News.
Another news, an illegal storage refinery site has been discovered at Okolomadi community in Udwa local government area of Rivers State during a surveillance led by Commander NNS Soro Commodore Nanma Lakan. Ebinimi Zitimiola reports.
The fight against illegal refining of petroleum products in the Niger Delta region by the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Soro is yielding positive results. The latest is the discovery of an illegal refining storage site at Okolomade community in Udwa local government area of Rivers State. 3 tanks loaded with illegally refined AGO, pipes used for illegal refining, and a tricycle loaded with bags of crude oil were discovered. The commander, Nigerian Navy ship, said the discovery of illegal refining storage site is sequel to credible intelligence received by NNS Soro on suspicious activities taking place at Okolomade community, which necessitated the deployment of a quick response team to the location.
With what we have seen now, I'm still pleading with the perpetrators of this criminal act to please desist from it. Because the last time I told them that we are coming all after them. And I showed them that the long arm of the law will surely catch up with them.
The Nigerian Navy ship NNS Soro, while still on surveillance, arrested 3 suspects conveying illegally refined products for sale. From all indications, NNS Soro is not relenting in its responsibilities, as it could be recalled that the command at last week arrested 3 suspects with a truck loaded with 12,000 liters of illegally refined AGO. Ebinimi Zitemiola, NTA News.
Now, to save the country from recurring national grid collapses due to constant vandalism, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Osun State Command, has vowed to protect power lines in the state. This was the reason why NSCDC, Osun State Command, organized a seminar with critical stakeholders on how to protect all national assets and infrastructure. Femi Afariogun reports.
The seminar brought together stakeholders to deliberate on the pressing need to safeguard critical assets such as power plants, transportation networks, telecommunications facilities, and more. With Nigeria's infrastructure serving as the backbone of economic progress, NSCDC understands that securing these assets is paramount for sustainable growth and development.
The clarion call here is for all and sundry, everybody, to collectively deal with the criminality predisposing national access to various forms of threats and vulnerabilities.
The seminar featured insight lecture presentations and discussions covering various aspects of infrastructure protection, including risk assessment, threat intelligence, security protocols, and emergency response mechanisms.
We have to continue with the awareness campaign, education of our members, training and retraining. So we must not give up.
And constant patrol of these lines, we know that and we believe that the issue of vandalism will be reduced.
NSCDC is prioritizing cooperation, coordination, and sharing of best practices and tech innovation approaches to enhance resilience in safeguarding national assets across the country. Shogbo Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
Officials of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have netted 3 wanted alleged drug lords and intercepted an Oman-bound drug consignment. Sawa Khalil brings us up to speed on the agency's weekly operations.
More than 2 months after they were declared wanted, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have arrested 3 members of an organized criminal group which specializes in illicit drug trafficking across Nigeria, South Africa, Mozambique, Europe and America, following the recent seizure of the single largest consignment of heroin at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. A total of 51.9 kilograms of heroin was recovered from members of the drug cartel in an operation that began on the 10th of February 2024 at the airport's cargo terminal. The consignment was concealed in 15 cartons of 2,300 watt metal cutting machines. While the agency has secured interim forfeiture court order on hotel, mansions, vehicles and funds traced to members of the syndicate after arresting 4 of them, a manhunt was also launched for others who went underground. The effort, however, paid off when 2 of the wanted kingpins were arrested in Lagos and Oka, Anambra State. Another wanted member of the syndicate was equally nabbed in Lagos. In the same vein, the attempt by a suspect to export a drug consignment through the Terminal 2 of the Lagos Airport to Muscat, Oman, was intercepted by NDLEA officers when his luggage was searched. 20 big parcels of cannabis weighing 9.8 kilograms were discovered concealed in his bag. Also within the week under review, 25.2 kilograms of cannabis was recovered in Ondo and Bayelsa states and 1,250 pills of opioids in Adamawa state. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
You are watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We'll have more reports after this break. Thanks for rejoining us. We'll now join Lanre in our Ibadan Network Center for more on Nationwide. Hello, Lanre.
Dennis, and welcome to Ibadan. Fake drugs worth billions of naira have been handed over to the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, NAVDAC, by the Nigerian Customs Service, Aviation Command. This is following a press conference by the command on its achievements between 1st March and April 16, 2024. Lukman Hassan tells us more.
Handing over the fake drugs, the Oyo-Osun controller of the Nigerian Customs Service, Dr. Ben Oramalugu, says the command will continue to ensure that fake drugs and other contrabands do not find their way into the country.
Our children are addicted to drugs, and if we don't fight against drugs, our future is at peril. The productive aspect of our economy will be dead.
Dr. Oramalugu explained that so far, the command has collected over 18 billion naira for the first quarter of 2024.
So I'm going to hand over to the Investigation and Enforcement Directorate, we will sample to the laboratory to be sure of what the content is on sites that we can conduct destruction exercise so that it does not go back into the public.
Other items seized by the Nigerian Customs Service displayed during the press conference include 982 bags of foreign rice, 12 sacks of cannabis sativa, used tires, second-hand clothing, premium motor spirit, diazepam tablet, and tramadol, all estimated to worth over 299 million naira. In Ibadan, Lokman Hassan, NTA News.
Farmers and others in your state have signed a peace pact towards sustainable agricultural development in the region. These resonated at the Southwest Commodity Farmer Organization Summit held in Ibadan. Again, Lukman Hassan was there and brings us the details.
The summit, which brought together farmers and herders from across the 6 states in the southwest region of Nigeria, afforded them the opportunity to provide solutions to challenges faced by both groups and the need for government to carry them along in providing support, policy formulation, and assistance. The Southwest Coordinator of Commodities Farmers Organization and the President of Minyata Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria signed a peace pact to ensure that farmers' herders clash is stopped in the Southwest.
And we have agreed together with herders and the farmers to collect data.
Without peace, nothing works. Today, pathologists have lost over 4 million cows in the country as a result of cattle rustling.
Participants at the Southwest Commodity Farmers Organization called on the farmers to work as a team and ensure that they utilize research institutions to get better yields.
When we correct ourselves in love, there will be we'll be able to address our issues peacefully, and so we must have means of increasing our productivity such that we'll be able to feed ourselves.
The theme, Sustainable Food Production in Southwest Nigeria, the way forward. The summit focuses on ensuring that Southwest farmers return to the farm in Ibadan. Lokman Hassan, NTA News.
And those are the trending reports from Ibadan. At this hour, Nationwide continues at our Abuja center where Dennis is standing by.
Thank you, Lanre. Now let's head back to Washington, D.C., where it's been a week-long set of engagements and conversations on the global economy at the spring meetings in Washington, D.C., with the Nigerian delegation led by the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun. Muplang Dakok reports that, among many things, Nigeria looks forward to the ratification of the third chair of the IMF for Sub-Saharan Africa. It also looks forward to increasing power generation from 4,000 megawatts to 6,000 in the next 6 months, as well as attracting various investments for the country.
We've come away with a bigger say for Africa through an additional chair, an additional seat on the board of directors of the IMF. We help to complete that process, and I think that is a major success for Africa as a whole. In terms of remittances, it is clearly one of the ways in which we can boost foreign exchange supply and investment, funding for investment in the country.
The policymakers, who say they are mindful of tackling infrastructure, security and other challenges through prudent management of resources, also had discussions with international money transfer organizations to set up a collaborative tax force to drive economic growth in Nigeria.
It shows in the numbers. We are doing everything possible to ensure that we have a stable exchange rate and an exchange rate that is that finds it's an adequate price discovery level. That is a process that will continue.
Olayemi Cardoso, the CBN governor. Let's now join Adiola in our Lagos Network Center. Hello, Adiola. Nice to see you.
It's good to see you. Onje discount market initiative of the Lagos State government to cushion the effect of the current economic reality is impacting positively on residents who are relishing the 20% discount sales Sunday markets. Now, they have more weeks to purchase items due to an extension.
The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has been described as a listening governor due to the fact that he extended the discount food market in the state after Lagosians appealed for an extension, saying that no matter how little the cash they have, they can still buy food items for their families. Residents of Lagos on Sunday defied the morning rains to do their shopping at the ongoing Onje Eco Discount Market. They appreciated the state governor for making it easy for the less privileged to put food on their tables.
And people from different places come here specifically to buy a lot, buy beans, buy gari, buy rice. It's a very good work here.
It's impactful because they are buying it at a reasonable discount that would make them also come again next time.
Governor Sanwo-Olu, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Because those people you are living for fear, don't you say all of us should be big best person. Now, since they don't carry this market come this fear, people you are buying it. They sell bread for fear is 2,000, 1,800. We buy it 750. I thank you very much.
A market leader at one of the centers visited by NTA News speaks on the reason for the additional weeks.
People are still yearning for more, and the prices are becoming lesser, and the distress too among the populace has gone down a lot. Even the bulky price of raw foods now are coming down, so it has great effect on the populace of Lagos State.
The Lagos State government is urging residents to take advantage of the program to better their lives.
Nigerians must be passionate about preserving the national treasures, which are testament to the beauty of a nation's diversity, while developing a sense of pride in telling and sharing the story of the country to the world. These words were echoed by stakeholders at Picture Exposure on the Beauty of Nigeria in Lagos. Lynn Deneke reports that the Minister of Tourism, Lola Adejon, was in attendance.
Nigeria is blessed with breathtaking scenery, rich cultures, heritage sites, fascinating and hospitable people capable of attracting domestic tourism. There's hardly any part of the country that does not have something unique to showcase. Sadly, this uniqueness is yet to be fully tapped to generate the needed revenue and employment for Nigerians. This forum is designed to deliberately highlight and promote Nigeria's history and tourism, where over 1,000 tourist sites cutting across the 36 states, including the FCT, were shown in pictures.
The journey of discovery is not in seeing new places, it's in seeing Nigeria with new eyes.
It is a paragraph of tourism. Have you not heard about the Kogosi Warm Spring? That is the only one spring in the world.
The Minister of Tourism, Lola Adejon, reflected on the importance of preserving and protecting the nation's treasures for future generations, adding that tourism should be part of schools' curriculum. We work with the tourism industry, all the stakeholders, how we are going to teach and inculcate tourism in not only the communities but in Nigeria at large. 100 persons, institutions and organizations were recognized for their roles in promoting tourism in Nigeria. Isaac Sander received an award for making hiking a mainstream tourism activity in Nigeria, as well as promoting Plateau State as the hiking hub of the country.
There's always a story around everything in our environment. So once we learn the stories, we can tell people and attract people to come and learn those stories.
I've been hiking for like over 6 years now, and I cannot count the number of trails we've hiked.
The Wonders of Nigeria Expo is a platform to celebrate the rich tourism potential and encourage the preservation of historical assets. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
And we're done from Lagos. Dennis is back to you for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thanks very much, Adiola. And from Lagos, we head straight over to Kaduna, where Mohammed is standing by. Hello, Mohammed, it's over to you.
Dennis, you're welcome to Kaduna. The need for Nigerian politicians to return to the path of political ideology led down by politicians like Malam Aminu Kanu was the focus of a lecture organized in memory of the late political icon in Kano State. Fatima Sanusukara reports that stakeholders believe that returning to the political lifestyle led down by the political founding fathers of this country will improve the political system as the principles are still relevant. A report.
Difficult leaders would like to give their show, and for that they would not struggle for leadership, I think.
Late Malam Amin Kano, a teacher turned politician, was the leader of the defunct Northern Element Progressive Union, NEPU. His contributions to the emancipation of common people earned him respect within and outside Nigeria. The 41st Memorial Lecture in honor of the late political icon focused on the role of the electoral umpire and court in determining leaders and the process of redefining Nigerians' democracy.
After elections, it is now the courts that are becoming the final arbiter of who rules all, rather than first and foremost of the electorate choosing who our leaders to be. As long as we have a democratic system where those who take over power see themselves as conquerors and not as servants who are elected by people, then their attitude in government will also be reflective of that.
The platform also provided participants the opportunity to contribute on issues of national development. Stakeholders still believe that embracing the political ideology of political icons like Malam Aminu Kanu will go a long way in providing solutions to Nigeria's electoral system. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Arai, NTA News.
And the need for government and private individuals to invest heavily in the mining sector is paramount for economic growth and development of this country. Achari Maxwell's visit to a mining site here in Kaduna State set the tone for this conversation as economic fortunes abound. It is no longer news that Nigeria is richly endowed with abundant natural resources. Malali Quarry is one of such sites. On a typical day, about 350 people earn their source of livelihood here. The crushed stones are used for construction purposes all over the country.
This work some of the people they do this work, then get money to go to school and their family. Somewhere now I have my children, 23 children.
The Ministry of Solid Mineral Development is an agency set up to unlock the economic potentials of solid mineral subsector in Nigeria. It is using the Malali Quarry to come up with a lot of policies and progress that will support the mining sector.
We have the Solid Mineral Development Fund, which is an agency under the Ministry of Solid Mineral Development. The purpose of that agency is to empower, to provide equipment, to provide fund to those people that are registered, that have registered mining licenses, that are operating legally, that are paying royalty.
The government can buy equipment for them and perhaps give them this equipment as a loan or a donation, or a grant that they can pay over time. And that will make it easier. Their condition will be better.
Plans are on the way under the renewed hope agenda of President Tinubu to provide them with modern techniques to ease their labor. And that's our contributions from Kaduna. Back to Dennis in our Abuja studio. Good evening, Dennis.
Thank you, Mohammed. Now, the Nigerian Navy remains a strategic enabler in the attainment of poverty eradication, especially through the enormous potentials of the blue economy. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu stated this at the launch of 2 high-endurance offshore patrol vessels in Turkey, where she performed the age-long tradition of slipping the ship into water. Senator Tinubu says the 76-meter-high vessels are a testament to the commitment of the Tinubu administration towards achieving a more secured maritime environment for economic development. Appreciating the Diaspora shipyard for the high-quality shipbuilding capability, as well as for attaining this milestone, the First Lady says the gathering will undoubtedly strengthen the relationship between the Nigerian Navy and the shipyard, as well as between the Nigerian and Turkish governments. Listening on time, man.
It is my prayers that God bless this ship that we are launching today with her crew as they sail safely round the world and proudly fly the flag of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I pray the vessel will participate successfully in exercises and operations at both national and international levels.
Minister of State for Defense Bello Matawalle and Chief of the Naval Staff Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala praised the Nigerian Navy's commitment towards securing the nation's territorial waters and enabling an improved blue economy. While Turkey's Deputy Minister of Defense Suey Alpay and the Secretary of Defense Haluk Gorgun note that there is room for more cooperation with Nigeria, not only in the area of security, but also economic development. Let's now join our Maiduguri Network Center, where Ladidi is standing by. Hello, Ladidi.
Welcome to Maiduguri. Good to have you join us. Borno State government is shifting focus from humanitarian support to medium and longer-term durable solutions through investing in agriculture. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum stated this during distribution of food and non-food items, as well as cash support to 25,000 residents of Gajiram in Nganzai local government area. Mohammed Goni reports.
During distribution in Gajiram headquarters of Nganzai local government, each of the 10,000 male heads of households received a 25 kg bag each of rice and maize, while 15,000 female residents each got 5,000 naira cash and a fabric. Beneficiaries of the palliative distribution expressed gratitude to the state government for the intervention, which they described as timely. Governor Bagana Umar Zulum, who spoke to journalists at the end of the exercise, said that 15,000 bags of rice were donated by the Northeast Development Commission, while the maize, cash support and the fabrics were procured by the Borno State government, and appreciated the federal government for the support. He dismissed insinuation at some quarters that his administration has placed too much emphasis on humanitarian support, saying the state government has cut down humanitarian intervention by about 50%.
We came to Nganzai now because there was drought last year, which has severely affected food production in this part of the state. And that is why we are here. Gradually we are transiting from humanitarian support to medium and longer term sustainable solutions of investing in irrigated agriculture.
The governor added that in all the 3 senatorial zones, palliative distribution has been limited to areas in dire need of support, as peace has returned to most part of the state. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
In a bid to strengthen the immunity of children under the age of 5 and ensure healthier future, the Borno State Primary Healthcare Development Board, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Human Services, has launched a polio vaccination campaign in Mafa Local Government Council. Yamana Garba has details.
The campaign, which took place in Mafa Local Government area, saw the participation of key stakeholders who addressed concerns regarding misinformation about the vaccine, emphasizing the importance of ensuring all children under the age of 5 receive the vaccine to safeguard them from potentially life-threatening diseases in the future.
There is outbreak of the polio virus in Maiduguri, so we don't want it to come here. So if we protect their population, so the virus will remain there and we can be able to control it.
We have mobilized our traditional leaders from the areas to districts to village heads to the ward heads, and we have an established team. So this immunization is from house to house.
State coordinator of the World Health Organization, represented by Assistant Public Health Officer Dr. Heledi Yakubu, stated that WHO aims to vaccinate over 100 children in Mafa local government.
We try them to continue as we go through this round. We hope to reach our targets.
A symbolic vaccination of children under 5 marked the culmination of the event, underscoring the commitment to protecting the health and well-being of the state's youngest citizens. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
That does it from Maiduguri. Nationwide continues with Dennis in Abuja after this time out. Stay with us.
Thanks for rejoining us here in Abuja. The Director of Special Duties, Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, Ahmed Abba, has emerged the new Executive Vice President for Africa and Middle East region of the International Federation of Air Traffic Controllers Association. Abba's emergence was at the 63rd annual conference of the Global Air Traffic Controllers Body, which took place on Friday, April 19th in Singapore. Before his election, the Borno State-born alumni of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru Jos, was the regional vice president of the association in the Western sub-region. This is the first time in the 63-year history of the global aviation professional body that a Nigerian is being elected into the executive board. The Industrial Training Fund says it will sustain its performance and generate useful ideas and strategies for the actualization of its mandate of training manpower for national development. Director General of the ITF, Dr. Afiz Oluwatoyin Ogun, said this at the 2023 Annual Performance Review meeting of the fund in Jos. Ndiang Andeabagyang reports.
Annual review meeting affords the fund the opportunity to examine methods and approaches that will serve as the basis for policies and programs that have direct bearing on the stakeholders and the organization.
This year's review, more than any other, will task us as we deliberating on how to successfully implement Skill Up Artisans, our super.
Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Industrial Training Fund, Dr. Afiz Oluwatoyin Ogun, urged participants to explore opportunities for the actualization of mandate and corporate survival.
This review meeting is especially important, coming on the heels of recent policies unveiled by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with a bearing on human capital development, which is our core mandate.
The Director General adds that its training program tagged Super is a major step taken by government to address the nation's economic challenges. In Jos, Ndenyan and Aviation, NTA News.
Here is some good news for Nigerians in the Diaspora, as the Diaspora mortgage scheme will be in operation within the next 3 months, as stated by the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission and the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. This assurance was given during a strategic meeting between the two parties, drawing out next steps on the continuity of the project. Deborah Balagbobo reports.
The NIDCOM boss, Abike Dabiri Erewa, agreed with the Managing Director of Federal Mortgage Bank Nigeria, Mr. Shehu Usman Usidi, that an extended 3-month test run will be done to avoid lapses on the portal in the long run and to enable the new head of the bank get acquainted with the project.
The key thing is there's no rush. It's better to have a perfect product
than start a project and then, because this is a catalyst for a lot of things for Nigeria and for the diaspora. So it's a catalyst, and we're glad that we have a minister who actually, is even driving this even more than both agencies.
Mr. Usman Osidi noted that providing a platform where diaspora Nigerians can access funding facilities for housing projects is one of the pragmatic steps from the federal government in recognition of their contribution to the economic development of the country.
Madam Chairman, we have come to seek your understanding and indulgence to enable the bank to conclude due diligence on the product and set new dates which would not be too far from the current schedule.
The Diaspora Mortgage Housing Scheme is primarily targeted at Nigerians in the diaspora to help them become homeowners in their country and create credible investment opportunities for themselves and other Nigerians. In Abuja, Deborah Balagobo, NTA News.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, congratulates Nigeria's Tunde Onakoya for setting a new world chess record and etching the country on the world map. Akpabio describes Onakoya's achievements as typical of the audacity of Nigeria's spirit of determination, hard work and resilience. While expressing joy and celebrating the young Nigerian, who he says is imbued with the Nigerian spirit of determination, hard work and resilience, Akpabio says he has elevated the country in the Committee of Nations. 13th Brigade Nigerian Army has emerged overall winner of the 2024 82 Division Inter-Brigade Corporal and Below competition held in Calabar. The brigade garnered a total of 6,940 points to defeat 4 other participating formations. Paul Abel reports.
13th Brigade.
To showcase their stamina, endurance, team spirit and confidence, where these participants dream from various brigades and formations under the 82 Division Nigerian Army. Events competed for include 10 kilometers cross-country run, map reading, range classification, and obstacle crossing. The General Officer commanding 82 Division, represented by the Division Training Officer, Brigadier General Okume Ejere, lauded participants for exhibiting a high level of commitment and discipline while giving their best in the defense of their formation flag.
To remind us all that beyond these extra-regimental activities, we must not be complacent with our primary role of ensuring the safety of our dear nation, Nigeria. The fast-changing security environment and the evolving threats in our area of responsibility calls for proactive and pragmatic approach to tame this hydra-headed monster.
Individual participants and formations who distinguish themselves in various activities were also awarded. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
In order to build healthy and happy homes, the Defense and Police Officers Wives Association, Diaspora, is strengthening advocacy on regular medical checks and affordable and accessible health services. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this was the position of the president of the association, Ogogo Musa, during a health walk at the National Defense College Camp 2, Ushafa Buhari Area Council of the FCT. To sensitize women on the dangers of high blood pressure, cancer, diabetes and consequences of maternal mortality to society.
They are now more active in their daily routine as mothers and as wives, and they are more productive because such sicknesses were holding them back. Because of this now, they've also developed on how to go out to be more physically active. So they'll be doing things that keep them very active, and then they are able to support the family more than they were before.
If you have a family history of diabetes or hypertension, you should have your sugar checked regularly, because once you have it in your family, there is that probability that you are going to inherit it because it's in the genes.
Medical experts recommend regular medical checks and exercise as well as proper diet to maintain good health. And for the latest in the world of sports, it's over to our sports desk. And Sports Update concludes nationwide. Many thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye. Do have a great week ahead.